Hello and welcome to Stocks Advisor channel. Here at our channel we are looking for interesting buy opportunities for US-based stocks. In today's video we will talk about two companies. It's a Peloton, ticker name PTON, and Chipotle Mexican Grill, ticker name CMG. Well, first let's start with Peloton, and let's look on its chart. So Peloton today is actually was showing kind of a declinish behavior after being really long time in overbought zone. So therefore we can expect that today's action is actually end of the wave or breaking of the wave. Classical example, after having a nice white red signaling candle 4 and 5 trading sessions ago actually. Now we see the decline candle today without downward shadow, meaning there's almost no upwards pressure at the moment. Therefore it is expected further downish behavior here, and in that sense Peloton is an interesting stock because it was showing very steady state, actually very nice movement last several months. You can clearly see starting from May actually it was going really upwards. Classical so-called 20, 50, 200 charts, meaning like its moving averages, by the way here depicted on the left, moving averages 20, 50 and 200 forming this combination. While this combination is true, the price of the stock is in general growing up, and this is indeed was the case for PTON. Now it's still the case actually, but now we see that price is kind of going down. So the question is when to enter, and for those who are playing a short or mid-term stocks, it's important to know waves when to enter. Therefore it's important to understand where we can do our trade and when there is indication that the wave is being broken actually. And indeed, if you look previous cases, for example, when we went very high at RSI, here and there, it's actually somewhere middle of May, beginning of June, and beginning of September. In all cases we saw the action of the price is kind of a break and then recover. Similarly here in July it was break and then recover. Again we saw break and then recover, and it was either recover from moving average 20 or reconfirmation, as we had the latter case in the middle of September, reconfirmation, this green trending line, let's call it T1, and then going up. So what we can see here now, of course it could be both. It could be reconfirmation from the moving average 20 since it's still, although kind of trying to decelerate, so form something like that, but it's still rather positive. By the way, also moving average 50 is kind of decelerating, so forming something like that, but still they're quite straightforward positive, so they can still actually go higher because there's first derivatives are still positive, second derivatives are about zero, so not that negative yet, and this would mean that it still can rebound from moving average 20. Therefore, if you would look at its support point levels and entry levels, then this would be actually the first support resist line, resist to downwards move. So the first support line for this stock action, price action, and this would be the second support line if the price should take further to the south. And this would mean that if we look here, the first support line, let's call it S1, and the second one S2. Actually S1 line also coincides with moving average 20, therefore it will form here like a double support level, and should this pierce further, we will again have kind of a double support because it will be S2 together with trend 1 confirmation. So in both cases it's a double support, so meaning that somewhere in between the rebounds should take place, and therefore we advise to make a first buy in the vicinity of C1 and actually second buy in the vicinity of S1 and S2, not C1, and then you can make your play. And since this is the first break of the wave in the current upwards move, usually it recovers until at least similar level, or at least 70% it should recover. From the moment it will start recovery sequence, it's not really expected that the price will pierce its stop, so seems like that this stop is actually forming a temporarily upwards ceiling for the channel C1, and this should either take a bit longer time, like for example it was in previous cases, especially like here at S2 line when it was the breaking point, and then it took some time with rebounds to go further. Similarly, for example, you see in July 13 when this worked also as a breakage ceiling point, it just took some time, two iterations actually, to pierce it up. So similar situation could take place here. So before we see any movement higher than C1, some time might take. It might take some time, but actually to reach somewhere in between, or just to C1 if we start from S1, or to reach in between C1 S1 if we start from C2, this is possible. And this is also about 10, 15 up to 20% swing if you know where you if you have a good entry, depending where you enter when you exit. And once the price is rebounds, we can expect a more major let's say correction usually, or a second series of correction, and then we need to mind also a third support line here. For later, this would be S3 line, and should the price go really there, this would be another entry points, and then we will actually come back to this stock to discuss those situations. For the moment, it's still too early to speak about this, so it's first and second circles to enter with average down possibilities. So this is it for PTON, and actually now let's have a look to our another stock. It's Chipotle Mexican Grill, and if we look on it, actually we can see a little bit different looking situation, but overall it's also kind of trend breaking. So let's have a closer look here. If we look here closer, what do we see? Well, we see already the formation of the ceiling took place before, so it's on this level. And it has taken place in the beginning of September, actually also sending price quite over both levels RSI wise, so about almost up to 80. And what we see now, well, you can still say that this today's action, the white candle, might still be very bullish and flagging, but if you look at the after hours indication, it just means that no, it's most probably just going to go for further correction, because we most probably won't pierce this C1 ceiling, and we will go for second wave. And actually what you can see here, it's the first wave reconfirmation of moving average 50 as double, two times the support, then trying to pierce C1, and then probably going to another wave of reconfirmation. And also overall the stock was very nicely growing steadily, also being 20, 50, 200 stock when its moving averages are forming this steady growth combination. Also moving averages legends are given on the left as always. But now what we see is it was a false magic cross down here about 10 of September, but then the moving average 20 just bounced and started its movement upwards. But still it's not too strong to hold it most probably, so we will see some correction actions. And then if you look of support lines and where you can enter, this would be the first level for this stock. And should the price go further down, then another levels, actually here it's this one, and then the more stronger level is here. And for this one it really can take a bit lower than in comparison with previous stock, because here still we don't have that well echeloned defense, and actually we had the first wave quite deep, and probably there will be not enough power to pierce this one. And also the price action is already kind of reaching overbought situation RSI wise. If you look MACD wave, it's now being positive, it's second wave up, so overall it's not that much positive pressure here technically, but if some news catalysts come, it still of course might pierce a C1 ceiling from the top, but otherwise we have these lines S1, S2 and S3 to play with for average down play, and therefore we advise first entry to be between S1 and S2, and then the second average down entry would be in the vicinity of S3 level. With this, you can actually also expect a reverse play either from the first circle or the second one, and in the first case, C1 will be the first resist point, in the second case, S1 line will be the first resist point with volatility, and then we will see either if it will go upwards or downwards. This will be still a question, and it will depend on the current technical situation as well as the news. So we will see how it goes. Probably also will come back to this stock later to see its next entries. For the moment, that's the play, and we always advise again to buy with average down 1 to 2 possibilities. So buy with 1 portion and average down with 2 portions. In general, both stocks are quite interesting for average down support play, for so-called surfing game, where you can actually do your surfing on the waves on volatility. So with this, we wish you good luck with stocks, and also please do not forget to subscribe to our channel. This way you will not miss our new videos and new interesting discussions for US-based stocks.